All right, it is session number 7 of Adobe Illustrator, and what we're going to work on right now is the Pathfinder and the Shape Builder. And right now you're looking at an example of what this assignment might look like when you're done. Again, it isn't going to look like very much. It's kind of like the last session, but there are certain things that I want you to try. When you open it up, at first it's going to look like this. It's going to have these labels over on the left-hand side to kind of keep you on track about what I want you to do. And then when you're done, it'll look something like this. So let's close these out and get to work on how this is all going to go. Let me close another panel here. I'm going to click File and click Open, and I'm going to make my way to the Courses drive. That's Drive L. You go to your class period. I'll use period 1 as an example. Go to Assignments in Adobe Illustrator, and this is session number 7. The file is called Pathfinder Shape Builder. So I'm going to open that up, and we're ready to rock and roll. Now, in order to do this assignment, you'll need to go to the Window menu and click Pathfinder. That's going to bring up a panel that's going to have a series of buttons that we're going to need as we work our way through this. All right. First one says Unite and says bow tie. I've made some suggestions here about shapes that you could do. To do this bow tie idea, I'm going to draw a circle just using the ellipse tool, and then I'll get the polygon tool, and I'm going to click and begin dragging and tap down, down, down arrow on the keyboard and make a triangle like that. Now I'll use my black arrow tool here, and I'm going to alt drag that triangle and rotate it around this way, and I'm just going to take this triangle and kind of set it so it's overlapping the circle a bit, and this one's overlapping the circle a bit. So this is what I've got, a circle and 2 triangles, and they're kind of overlapping. I'm going to move that in a little bit, maybe move this in a little bit too. Alright, so there we go. Now what I want to do is turn this into one shape. Right now it's 3 separate shapes, and this Unite feature on the Pathfinder does just that. And here's how this works. You have to take your black arrow and select all of the shapes. Once they are all selected, and I'll pull the Pathfinder over here, the very first button on the very first row of the Pathfinder panel is Unite. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and this has now been all combined into one shape. There's no more overlap or anything, it's just one shape. And I would be able to take, right now it's filled with white, I would be able to take that box and I could fill it up with a gradient or a pattern or whatever I want. We kind of looked at those in the last lesson, but I would have to select that first maybe if I want to fill it, and then I could fill that up with a color, not cooperating, there we go, and I could give it a stroke if I want to, and I got it. Alright, so that's Unite, and again, you wouldn't have to do the bow tie thing, but that's just my suggestion. Alright, minus front. Here's what we're going to do for minus front. It's not going to look just like a Nike swoosh, but it'll look sort of like a Nike swoosh. I'm going to make this kind of oval shape and tilt it just a little bit like that. I'll rotate it. Then I'm going to alt drag that shape and get them overlapping kind of like that. The colors don't really matter that much right now. I might make this one just a little bit bigger, sort of like that. Alright, now I'm just going to drag so I have both of them selected, and minus front is the second button, and here's what happens. The thing that's in front, this shape that's in front or on top, is going to punch through the one in the back, and it's also going to disappear, like that. Alright, now that's not a perfect Nike swoosh, but you can see why it kind of looks like that. So I'm going to tilt that up just a little bit and set it over here. And again, the oval that was on top punched through and left this amount, and it made a shape that I couldn't have made any other way. Alright, so that's minus front. Alright, intersect. Here's what we'll do with intersect. I'm just going to make kind of a long circle like that, and I'll use the black arrow tool, and I'm going to alt drag and just get another one. So I have 2 circles that are overlapping. Maybe real quickly here I'll change the color of one so you can see it a little bit better. Alright, 2 circles overlapping. I'll select them both, so now I can see the selection, and then I'm going to do this intersect. Intersect is right here. 3, 2, 1. Pow. Well, what happens here is only the overlapping area remains after you perform an intersect operation, and that shape looks very much like a football. Alright, so we've got that. Alright, exclude is the next one, and I'm just going to use a couple of rectangles here. I'll draw kind of like a rectangle or a square. I'll take the black arrow tool and I'm going to alt drag that so I have two of them overlapping. Just to make it easier to see, I'll change the color of that second one. Alright, now I'll select them both. That's what you always have to select, the shapes that you're going to do with the operation. And the exclude button is the last one on the top row. 3, 2, 1, pow. Here's what happens. The middle part where there's overlapping is gone, and it leaves the other remaining areas, but you'll also notice the black square adopted the color of the previous one, and that's what that kind of looks like, a cropping frame in Photoshop. So we'll call that crop frame. And that's exclude. Divide. Alright, well, here's what I'm going to do with divide. I'm going to draw a circle, and I'll use my black arrow and I'll drag that and have a second circle, and then I'll make a third circle. So I've got these three overlapping circles. So that you can see this a little bit better, let me get some color going on here. Get these circles selected, and this will be, trying to make this one green, and this last one, we'll make this one a blue color. Alright, there we go. So I've got these three circles that are overlapping. Alright, now divide is the first button on the bottom row. So I get them all selected. I'm going to perform the divide operation. Oh wow, looks like nothing happened. Let me deselect and then come back here and say, still looks like nothing happened. So here's the last little step, and I've got a little note here that says ungroup it. Alright, so what you got to do here to really see what happened is do a right click on this and ungroup. Do an ungroup. Now, when you deselect and you begin to pull this apart, here's what really happened when I did that divide operation. Everywhere that those pieces overlapped actually got kind of separated out into a separate piece. So I'm left with all of these. They're sort of like puzzle pieces. They could all fit back together, but every one of them is a separate piece. Sometimes divide can be a pretty handy trick. Alright, trim is the next one. Alright, well, here's what trim does. We'll make a circle here, and I'm going to again use my black arrow, and I'm going to alt drag that, and so that you can see what's going on just a little bit better, I'll change the color. Alright, I'm going to select them both, and I will perform a trim operation. Wha-bam. Alright, now it looks like, you know, it doesn't look too terribly different, but here's what did happen. Whatever was hiding behind that top shape right there, oh, I guess I'll have to deselect. Oh, I guess I'll have to ungroup it because it says so right there. Do a right click and an ungroup. Alright, and then when I pull that away, you'll see that the part of the black circle that was underneath the pinkish circle is gone. Alright, so that did get trimmed away, the part that was underneath. Alright, so a little tricky to understand, but that's how that one works. So that's a trim right there. Alright, now merge. Here's how the merge idea works. And what I'm going to do here is, this is almost going to look like a guy with a kind of an afro haircut. Alright, I'm just going to use that black circle there as a head, and I'll take this other circle and I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to alt drag and make several of these circles that kind of go over like this. Now let me select the one that I'm using as a head shape and just change that to a different color. It doesn't matter what it is, and you can't see that very well, so we'll just make that like a green color or something. Okay, that's better. Alright, so I've got this kind of head shape with all these separate circles here, and what I'm going to do is I'll select those, and then when I perform the merge feature here, so the middle button close to the middle on the bottom row, what happens is areas of like color get all kind of merged together. So all those little black circles have kind of merged together, and I can, I'll show you what, I can ungroup that, and then I can pull that apart, and here's what I've got left. See, the head shape kind of fits with those. You can see where it's been kind of scalloped away there. And this is one piece. The hair is all one piece here. And so that's what a merge does. It takes those areas of light color and merges them together. So you could try that out. And you don't have to pull them apart if you don't want to. You could just kind of leave them sitting together kind of like that, because it kind of looks like a head with some funky hair or whatever. Alright, so that's a merge. Alright, now we're doing good. We're coming down the home stretch here. The eyeball. Alright, well, check this out. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a small circle, kind of like It's not that small. All right, and then I'm going to come along here and draw kind of a skinny, long, wide oval, kind of like that. All right, now again, this is more so you can just see what's going on a little bit better. Let me change the color of that. So here's what I've got. I've kind of got this yellowish greenish oval that's overlaying on top of that black circle, and I'm going to select them both. Remember, anytime you're going to perform these operations, you have to select the shapes that are going to be in the operation. All right, now this one is a crop. All right, right here's the crop button. I'm going to click that. And look what happened. Only that part that was underneath that oval is showing. Now if I bump up the stroke thickness here, you can see that the circle that was doing the cropping is still there. But only the part of that smaller circle, like the pupil of the eye, the part that was outside that wide oval, not showing anymore. All right, so again, that's kind of a shape that would have been hard to make any other way. And that crop can be kind of useful. All right. I'm going to do outline here, and outline, I don't know, I don't use outline all that much, to be honest with you, but I'll show you what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to make a circle and do some alt drags and make a little series here. All right, and I'll drag right over those. All right, they're all black for right now. And if I go to this outline operation, here we go, 3, 2, 1, pow. All right, now it looks like everything disappeared, so I'm going to bump up the stroke thickness a little bit. And really basically what it did was, you know, all the fills are gone out of that. You can see right through it. And it just kind of left the outlines of the shapes that were there. Well, yeah, okay, there are some circumstances where you might find that as a useful trick, just to take something and just get the outlines, and that's kind of what I have left after I did that operation. It's just the outlines. All right. You can ungroup those, by the way, if you right-click and ungroup, and then if you deselect them, you'll see that they can be pulled apart. You don't have to pull them apart, like I said, if you don't want to, but you can if you wish. All right, there we go. Okay, now minus back. Let's check this out. We'll do this for minus back. I'm going to draw like a square or rectangle. And over here on the side I've got Pac-Man. Watch this. I'll turn this square kind of up that way, and I'm going to go ahead and fill it. It's not filled in right now, and it doesn't really matter what color it is. I'll just do that. Now I'm going to come along and draw a circle. Sitting on top of it, and that circle, let's make that just a different color. It doesn't really matter that much what it is. All right. And I'm going to lay that circle so it's kind of right on top of this. All right, now you might remember minus front. Minus back does just kind of the opposite. That square is in the back of the circle, so if I do a minus back, it's going to kind of punch right through towards us. 3, 2, 1, pow. Oh, it looks like Pac-Man. Look at that. That square cut that area out of the circle, and I've got a Pac-Man kind of shape. All right, so that's minus back. Now let's see if we can check out this shape builder idea here real quick. I am going to draw I'm just going to move a few things up a little bit here. All right, I'm going to draw a circle, and then I'll just use my alt drag trick here and make this circle a little bit smaller, and alt drag that and do that. All right, now that kind of looks like a Mickey Mouse kind of thing. So here's what we're going to do with this. I'm going to drag over all of those. They all have to be selected. Now the shape builder tool is located right here, and here's how it works. If you have shapes selected, you can take the shape builder tool, and it's like doing a unite. I can just drag right over those, just like this. I can just drag right over them, and it combines those shapes. Now I could fill that with something different if I wanted to, like, well, it's not selected, so there we go, I got it. So I could fill that with something else if I wanted to, but combine the shapes. It's just kind of another way to do unite. Now you can do a similar kind of thing, and I'm going to make kind of a crescent shape similar to something that we did before here. All right, so I've got these two overlapping circles, and if I select both of them, all right, I'm going to take the shape builder again, but this time I'm going to hold down the Alt key. When you hold the Alt key, you'll be able to see little areas that you can subtract. So there, I've got the shape builder with adding and subtracting right there. Now the last thing you would have to do is save this on your network drive. And just keep the same as Pathfinder Shape Builder. Just keep that name, save it on your network drive, and then drag it and drop it to drive L. Hey, hop in there, have at it. Good luck.